Hello everyone, it's Update Tuesday and I'm Valerie from Stampin' with Valerie. I hope you are having a great day. So far so good here. I just got back from a quick visit with my son. That is the first thing I have done in a couple of months, about 2.5 months to be exact. He only lives a few hours away, but we have been doing the whole social distancing, and of course we still are, but it was one of those I needed to see him, and so I went with it. I went to visit. I stayed at his place. We didn't go out and do anything. We just stayed around and visited, so it was really, really nice. So today, Stampin' Up! Has shared a fun little technique using Stampin' Spots. And now, I can say I've kind of done this, but on accident, not on purpose. This is not something that I have just said, all right, here's how I'm going to stamp. I'm going to use my Stampin' Spot. And you'll see when I show you in just a minute. Now, we're also going to use the Many Mates stamp set. This is in the new catalog. Look at all those fantastic sentiments. They're so great. I love them. And I'm really excited to show you how to make this super simple card today. So what Stampin' Up! Showed us was with some different Stampin' Spots, not these exact Stampin' Spots. They used their stamping spots as a block. So as I said, I've done this many times accidentally by dropping it, and then I've got like a little square and I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool, but I never thought of actually designing a card around that. Right? Have you? I really haven't. So I thought it would be a fun thing to do. And I need to check my phone to make sure my volume is turned up to make sure you guys can hear me. All right, it's all the way turned up. Perfect. All right, hi Donna, hi Lois, thanks for joining. So the Stampin' Spot colors I'm going to use today are Night of Navy, Bermuda Bay, Melon Mambo, and Pool Party. The Stampin' Spots that Stampin' Up! Used in their post, and I'll post a picture of it on my blog, I'll show you their card as well, is, well, I don't have the card in front of me, but I know they used Coastal Cabana, Daffodil Delight, I believe they used Granny Apple Green, and Basic Gray. Those 4 colors are part of a new Stampin' Spot assortment that's going to be in the new catalog. So we used to sell these in packs of 12 based on the color families. Now our color families are 10, but we don't sell them by the color family anymore. You usually only get them in your paper pumpkins. But in our new catalog, we're going to have an assortment, and they're going to be Basic Gray, Coastal Cabana, Daffodil Delight, Flirty Flamingo, Gorgeous Grape, Granny Apple Green, Real Red, and Shaded Spruce. So that's fantastic. You can get an assortment of some ink colors to make some cards with. So literally, this is all you do. Is this piece of paper is 3 1/4 by 5, and 3 of these fit pretty much across the front. So I want to make sure I don't mix them up. So I'm going to put the lid next to them. So that was Night of Navy, and I'm going to use Pool Party next. Now you have to kind of look at, look down at it more than you normally would. Kind of at an angle to make sure you're stamping in the right spot. And they're not going to be 100% perfect unless you can figure out a way to do that. And if you do, that's fantastic. I guess you could use a ruler. See, that's how I normally create my little blocks. I drop them. This one is Coastal Cabana. The last one I just used was Melon Mambo. And basically, I'm just going to kind of make a pattern. I'm going to do each one in a row. Like I'll start with Night of Navy, go to Pool Party, go to Melon Mambo, and just keep going across. And they might be a little crooked. They're not going to be perfect because I am not going to try to align them perfectly. I'm just going to do my best kind of eyeballing it, because I just love the way this looks. It gives it a fun texture. Now we've got Coastal Cabana. Oh no, I'm sorry, Bermuda Bay. Sorry, that one's Bermuda Bay. And then we just start right back over. Now, I could have come up with a different random pattern, but I thought, we'll just keep going with one right after the other because it's rows of 3, but I have 4 ink spots, so it'll just kind of look random anyway, right? I think it does anyway. Kind of get those little, it's kind of random, but I guess it's really not because it's kind of looking like a quilt. So note to self, if you want to make it more random, use 5 if you're only doing rows of 3. That's okay. I kind of like this little quilt look anyway. All right, we'll go back to Night of Navy. And then Pool Party again. And now depending on how wet your ink spots are, like if they're kind of drying out, it's gonna leave more of that woven look from the pad, where if it's really, really juicy, like Bermuda Bay is one of the juicier ones, so it doesn't leave quite as much pattern, but I did use, let me see if I've got it still out. Yes, Coastal Cabana earlier. I used that one because I have one of those, and it is much more wet than the other ones. So once it starts drying, those fill in a little bit more on the Whisper White cardstock. Now, since I've got just that little edge there, I'm still going to go ahead and just do that little white edge on here, but I'm going to turn it this way so I can make sure I am just getting the edge and not going over my other little blocks. Now, if I would have taken maybe that extra 1/8 of an inch off from that, it would have avoided that altogether, but that's okay. I'm still going to fill it in anyway. So how fun is that? Like, you can just do patterns with any colors that you want to do. And like I said, today I used Bermuda Bay, Melon Mambo, Pool Party, and Night of Navy. Hi Kelly, thanks for joining. How are you today? All right, so for the card base, I'm going to use Sahara Sand. I love Sahara Sand. It is one of my favorite neutrals. I like it because it's a little bit lighter than, I'm going to flip this over because I just got an ink spot on it. It's a little bit lighter than Crumb Cake, but it's not super light. It's, you know, definitely not very vanilla or anything like that, which I love very vanilla as well, but that's just not what I wanted for this one. So I cut another piece. This one is just a little bit bigger. This one is, you know what? I may have told you the wrong measurement. This may be 3 inches. Let's measure it. And that the Sahara Sand may be 3 1/4. Yes, this is 3 inches by 5 inches. This Sahara Sand piece is 3 1/4 by 5 inches. This is what happens when you've had a long weekend and you come back, driven 3. Oh, it's only 3 hours. It's not a super long drive, but drove 3 hours and, you know, ate while I was on the road, some fast food, and then came home, and I haven't even unpacked yet. I have just been like, all right, let me look at Stampin' Up's updates today. Let me look at what they've done for their Succeed Weekly, which is where I get my Tuesday ideas from, is from their Succeed Weekly. And because it is something that they share with us for inspiration. And so I was looking at that and caught up on a little bit of Facebook because I really didn't get on there much this weekend. I feel like it's naked right here. We'll put one more right here because we don't want it to sag in the middle. Oh, Kelly, Greg was good. He was really good. Thanks for asking. He was good. And of course, you know, excited that I came to visit, but I'm sure he was glad when I left too, because I think I was kind of driving him a little bit nuts with my mom-ness. Like, all right, have you washed your sheets this week? Have you done this? Have you done that? You know how it is being a mom. Making sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, even though they're adults and they're on their own. Poor kid doesn't stand a chance. He's an only child, so he gets all the brunt. But he's a good kid. I love him. I love him more than my life itself, let me tell you. Oh. Yeah, exactly. That's a new term, right? Momness. We need to trademark that. Valerie said it first. Momness. Let's go ahead and start like a hashtag momness for that. All right, so then take your other little piece, and since we angled this first piece of Sahara sand on there, you can just take this piece and kind of do it on another little angle just so it's a little, so it's not exactly the same. And actually that's almost pretty straight. Pretty proud of myself. I wasn't even trying to do that. So we are going to stamp. Congrats, you totally earned it. But we're going to use two different pieces of cardstock. We're going to use a piece of Bermuda Bay, and I'm going to trim it using the new fancy label. Oh my gosh, what's the name of this? It might be Fancy Label, but I feel like we already have one that's called that. I've got my catalog right here next to me, so I'm looking to see what it's called so I can get it correct. Lovely Labels, that's what it is. Lovely Labels. Lovely Labels Pick-a-Punch. And I'm just going to slide it in. Now this is 3/4 of an inch wide. I'm going to slide it in and trim it. And since I did a smaller piece, it's not going to be as easy to pull out. So I might need to get my tweezers just to grab it, because this is only 2 1/4 long. So let me see what we got. Now I must have been sliding that in the wrong way or something, because it's not cutting it right. Let me try it again. This should be in the center here. It is, but I'm kind of turning it. I think when I get to the end, I'm not keeping it straight. So that's always why it's a good idea to look at it from this angle to make sure you have it straight. And see, it just turned on its own. Good job, Val. All right, we're gonna have to get another piece of Bermuda Bay and cut it and get it ready. And then I think what I'll do, because we need a 3/4 inch strip, we'll cut the strip long first. Then we will do the first end of it. Slide it in there. Hold on to it to make sure it doesn't move. There we go. Now we got it. And then we'll stamp it, and then cut it again. All right, this time we're just gonna cut it with my scissors wherever they are. There they are, hiding under my paper trimmer. Hopefully it'll be about even. That's a little bit, probably gonna be a little bit longer than the last one. But it'll be pretty close to even. So we're gonna go with it. Hi Hilda, hi Eleanor, thanks for joining. It actually didn't turn out too bad considering I totally flopped on the first two. Not too bad. All right. And then just take this is just a 1/2 inch strip of Whisper White, and we'll do the same. We'll use that Night of Navy ink and just ink up You Totally Earned It. And it doesn't matter where you put it, just as long as you've got a little bit of space on the edge, because we're going to use the classic label punch now to punch this piece out. And we'll just flip it. I say flip it, but punch it, and it'll probably flip out at me because that's usually what happens. But this time it didn't, so that's good. All right, grab some of these pieces, get them out of our way. We're gonna put some dimensionals on the back of these, and I'll use regular dimensionals for the congrats, but then for the smaller You Totally Earned It, we'll use some of the mini ones because they are just the perfect size for those little pieces that you punch out with that classic label punch. I love that punch. It's one of my all-time faves. All right, take the backings off, and then we'll get them attached to the card. We'll get a couple of embellishments on here as well. Now for embellishments on the card, they used, I don't know, I think they're brass colored stars, which I don't have those because those were not available in the pre-order, and the others are, they're copper. That's what they are, copper. And I used all my copper ones from Christmas, so I don't have any of those. So we're just gonna put our congrats on here. And then we're gonna put you totally earned it. Just kind of underneath it, on an angle a little bit. So I'm gonna use some of the fancy little gilded gems. Now these are available right now to order, but they are in the new catalog. I love how super shiny they are. I'm just gonna add a couple on here, a couple of different sizes. I mean, don't all have to be the same size. Just add a couple on there just to add a little bit of sparkle. Now this is light enough that you don't have to put a piece of Whisper White in there, but I still like to because I just think it looks really nice. So just cut a piece of Whisper White at 4 inches wide by 5 1/4, because that'll be just 1/4 of an inch shorter and less in width. So you have 1/8 of an inch all the way around. So there's a little border on the inside of your card. So how fun is that? I think that is a perfect little graduation card. And I think if you did it in colors that were, like where I grew up, ours were red and white, but there was also black in there. So you could use red, black, and white, whatever colors for the school that the graduate is graduating from. I think it's just a cute little super easy idea. Just use your little Stampin' Spots. If you have any from your paper pumpkins, which is where I got all of these, go for it. Use them. Make a super easy card. And even if you don't have sentiment stamps, you can write this yourself with your markers that match your Stampin' Spots. So I hope you enjoyed tonight's Update Tuesday. I hope you will join me tomorrow night for One Card Wonder Wednesday. I don't even know what I'm doing yet. I haven't even really thought about it. I wanted to make sure I let you all know about my, look at my paper, it's all messed up now. It was sitting underneath my trimmer. My Paper Party Extravaganza. This is posted on my website, and I just posted a reminder for it because all payments are due by June 2nd, so I can order everything. You will get a 1/4 of a pack of all the new designer series paper and a specialty designer series paper from the annual catalog. And then there are also some other options to add other things to that if you want to join. It'll be the first one I've ever done. It's going to be a lot of fun. The live event will take place on July 25th. I know that's a while from now. I totally understand that you're kind of, you know, hemming and hawing maybe, but the deal is it is, so I can get everything ordered on June 3rd when the pre-order starts. So that way if things get backed up because of back orders or COVID-19, right now we just found out some of our ink refills might not be quite ready yet because the factories that create those are doing other medical things right now. So everything is all up in the air, so we want to order everything early and then do the live event on July 25th. I'll ship out the paper party packets on July 13th. You're going to get one kit for 1 card for each pack of paper, so that's 16 cards you're going to get to create with me. I'll have videos for all of those. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to play games and I'll give away prizes. So I hope you will join me. But I'm so glad you joined me tonight for Update Tuesday. And you got to see this super adorable card that was so easy to make. I hope you make some for yourself, and I hope you have a great rest of your evening. See you tomorrow for One Card Wonder Wednesday. Bye.